Hey, this is the 27 2.8 by Fuji. This is the second version, the WR version. This came out about 3 years back, and I have it, I think, for 2 years. I bought it with the XC3. It came as a kit lens. By the way, how do you think this look is? I'm shooting this on the Z8 and the Tamron 35 1.4, so 35 millimeters lens. I love this lens. I've been saying that for a long time. That one is the Z6 III with the 51.4, the new Nikon 51.4, and then that's a Nikon ZF with the 51.8S. So all three cameras, exact same setup, all three cameras, exact same profiles, white balance, everything is sort of matched. To talk about this lens, because this is a beautiful looking lens. I love how the lens looks. So the moment you have this lens, something like this, you want to, take your XT camera. If you have an XT5, I have this beautiful XT5, and then just, put the lens on. Okay, just put the lens on because it looks so beautiful, right? And honestly, it makes any Fuji camera the way Fuji camera should be: beautiful, compact, very stylish, very lifestyleish. Feels like a travel camera. It almost looks, it's the same height. This is a small rig grip that I've added to the XT5. It looks so flush. It's at first glance, the Fuji XF 27mm f2.8 WR looks a very stylish lens. Stylish, compact, and versatile, just like Canada's Prime Minister, Mr. Justin Trudeau. Try to make it work, try to make it do something for you, right? Try to create value with this lens, and that's where you kind of start seeing that, well, it's probably a bit of a showpiece. It's probably something that looks really good on the shelves, but not really very useful. By the way, it makes the right kind of sound, right? Just the right kind of sound, just the right words, just the right phrases. But like, spend a little time with it and you realize that the images of this lens, they seem flat. There's no depth to it. Like Mr. Trudeau, there is no texture to the images. By texture, I don't mean detail of sharpness, but that I mean a sense of complexity. To be able to sort of give to you a sense of the natural world, which is not flat. It's actually quite complex and multi-layered. When you shoot with this lens, you don't get a sense of that. The background and the foreground may look merged together, and like, I've shot quite a few pictures with this lens, and I was always like, I have deleted those pictures. I'm like, no, I can't have that anywhere taking up my space, taking my mind space or hard drive space. So, and they're not all bad compositions, by the way. However, I have taken some really good looking shots with this lens too. But I didn't see the lens adding anything extra to the composition, to the look of the shots. The credit goes to, I think, Canada's amazing people and its culture. I mean, the Fuji's amazing colors, the sensorials of using a Fuji camera, and the mood that it puts you in, the color science, just how good the files are. The XT5 is quite a highly detailed sensor, right? It's a 40 megapixel sensor. So I think whatever good about those images, I ascribe that, the goodness of those images to me. I attribute that to me and to my XT5. And also the mental ability to focus, to get to the heart of a problem, to get to it's the lens's ability to focus, okay, without making a lot of noise. It's not good at that. When it focuses, it makes a lot of noise. And there are occasions when it just isn't on the right topic, or it just isn't on the right subject. Okay, you're missing the point, you're missing the subject. It's very difficult to get it to discipline you and get it to listen to the camera. Okay, and I understand that every society has its problem, right? Every nation, every country has its problem. Every camera has its problems. The Fuji system overall is going through something right now. It's going through an interesting phase. But I think I'm on. I think the first firmware on the Fuji X-T5, or maybe the second. The so I'm okay. So I'm not awfully unhappy with the autofocus performance of my Fuji X-T5 with the version of firmware that I'm running in my camera. But I still find that the performance of any other lens on my Fuji is completely different. You put anyone in that position, I think anyone would do a better job than Mr. Trudeau, right? So, and similarly, you put anyone on this mount, I think in any other Fuji lens, even some Viltrock third-party lenses, um, will do a better job. I mean, if you could practically at this point import a prime minister for Canada. And I understand it's a flat looking lens, like it's a pancake lens, and the images that come out of this lenses are also flat. By the way, Camera Conspiracies keeps talking about 3D pop, and let me tell you, clearly this lens doesn't have a lot of elements because it's a small lens, but then it doesn't have 3D pop either. It's like one of the worst 3D pop lenses that I've ever seen, right? Let's talk about another aspect of this lens. The reason the lens is small and tiny, first is because it's an APS-C lens. Second, it doesn't have a lot of elements by choice. But another big reason is because it's also not a very bright lens. Like, it's not very bright. Uh, you just have to listen to how it talks. And at f2.8, this lens is not particularly bright. So you can't use it in difficult conditions. You're surely going to get fucked because you can't depend on the lens in difficult conditions because it doesn't focus well. It makes some like weird noises, and not on point. And then in difficult conditions, it's not bright enough to kind of resolve for that complexity of the real world, of the images that you see through your own eyes. You can't expect this lens to represent that reality to you because at f2.8 you have to really push the eyes high. Already a crop sensor camera, so it's got its own limitations. So I think f2.8 on a crop sensor camera is like I don't know if you can really use it in indoors, right? But it's a fairly wide aperture, wide focal length, 40 millimeter 39 40 millimeters equivalent. So it's a lens where you want to take it anywhere, right? That's a use case of this lens. It has to be with you. That's the whole point of having a lens like this. But uh, it's supposed to perform in a certain way, but it not perform exactly in those situations. Like you want it to work in indoors, you want it to almost take it anywhere. But if you take it anywhere if there's low light, conditions are difficult, it's a fast moving scenario, this lens is going to fail on you. It's not going to do very well. So it's like it's good for very very ideal conditions, just like very very ideal conditions, very very. I think the whole point of a Trudeau of lenses is supposed to be like look good, be great, sound great in front of the camera, but without losing performance. I'll take 3-4 lenses like the 35 1.4, the Sigma 56 1.4, the Viltrox 27 1.4. I'll just put them in the bag and sort of ensure that I make some space by putting this lens on the camera so that it doesn't protrude out, and it's the bag is more better managed. Well, that's how I sort of use it, this lens, to plug the butthole of my the, to plug the butthole of my camera often. Well, like you have to do what you have to do. But despite this, I mean, Trudeau will have its die-hard fans. Some people will just go for the optics. I mean, the look of it over the performance or what it can deliver for you. And I think if you do so, you should try changing your prime minister. Probably think of the 35 1.4. Save the money, get the 35 1.4, get the 23 1. The 33 1.4 WR and the 23 1.4. I mean, these are amazing options in front of you, and they'll really take your photography, your art, your ability to express yourself and live freely forward. And you're not going to have rogue elements inside your camera bag. Do you want that? Do you want rogue elements inside your camera bag? I don't think you do. So I think you should look away from this Trudeau and then do better. Look at other Fuji lenses. There's some amazing lens options, and I would start with the 33 1.4, the 18 millimeter lens. I really like the 56 1.42 as well, the new one. But I thought that the autofocus is not that reliable, so it's not great as a travel lens or like if you have to shoot fast, that's not the lens. But if you're shooting in a studio condition, the 56 1.2 is an amazing lens. It's a beautiful lens. One of the most perfected lenses that you have from any system for the 85 millimeters focal length. Let me know what you think of this conversation. Let me know how these three different lenses look. This is a 51.4 on the Nikon Z6 III, 51.4 the new Nikon 51.4. This is a 35 1.4 Tamron on the Nikon Z8, and that is a 35 1.8S on the Nikon ZF. Slight difference in focal length, slight difference in f number. Also, by the way, the crop levels of the Z6 III and the ZF are different, although they're both like 24 megapixel cameras. The crop levels are different. So I'm actually shooting at 1080 100 frames a second for the ZF so that I get the widest frame, and I'm shooting at 6K 24 or 4K 24 on the Nikon Z6 III, and again 4K 24 on the Z8. So different frame rates. I'm going to figure that out during edit. So let me know what you think. I'm going to see you soon. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for finally taking me over 6,000 subscribers. I'm going to see you soon with another video and probably go deep into the look of these, lenses and cameras.